Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be showing you 3 Flame Swordsman combos that you need to know to play this deck. This deck is super fun to be able to play, so without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description for every single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. If you guys would like to check out the deck profile, as always for every combo video, it is down in the description down below, so let's get straight on into this one. So for combo number 1, guys, we're going to start off with just fighting Flame Swordsman in our hand. And this is actually a 1-card combo for the deck, and the cool thing about this deck is there's a lot of ways to be able to get to this card, which is super helpful for the consistency. So what we're going to do is just normal summon out our copy of Fighting Flame Swordsman from our hand to our side of the field. And this card has the ability that if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a spell or trap that mentions Flame Swordsman from your deck to your hand. And the card you're always going to grab is your copy of Flame Sword Realm. If you don't already have this card, you want to get to this card because it actually lets you summon Flame Swordsman directly from your extract by sending a monster from your hand or your side of the field to the graveyard, which is awesome because it helps out so much, especially with the ability of your Fighting Flame Swordsman when it does touch the grave. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to activate our copy of Flame Swords Realm that we just searched off our Fighting Flame Swordsman, and now we're going to use its ability that once per turn you can send a monster from your hand or face up from field to grave to special summon Flame Swordsman from your extract, and it is treated as a fusion summon, which is awesome. But if you already have this card in your hand and you have your copy of Fighting Flame Swordsman, activate this card first, because it does give you a little bit of protection if it's already on the field, because it has the ability that your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you normal summon a Fire Warrior monster, which is an amazing ability. So now that this is on the field, we're going to go ahead and use its ability to be able to send our copy of our Fighting Flame Swordsman from our field to the graveyard to special summon out a copy of the original Flame Swordsman, which is super nostalgic. Then the effect of our Fighting Flame Swordsman will go off when it touches the graveyard, that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send a copy of Flame Swordsman or a monster that mentions it from your deck or extract to the graveyard, which you're usually going to send your copy of your new Salamandra, the Flying Flame Dragon. Now this card is awesome to be able to send to the graveyard because you can actually equip it from the graveyard to one of your monsters, but it also has the ability that when it does touch the graveyard, it lets us search a Salamandra card from our deck to our hand, which we're actually going to grab a copy of Salamandra Fusion, which is great to be able to grab in this situation since we already have a copy of Flame Swordsman on our side of the field to equip it to. I know, kind of weird that we actually have an equip fusion spell, but it's kind of cool. So what we're going to do now is just activate our copy of Salamandra Fusion, equipping it to our copy of Flame Swordsman, and this card can only be equipped to a Fire Warrior monster and it gains 700 attack points, boosting our copy of Flame Swordsman up to 2500. We then have the ability of our Salamandra Fusion that has the ability that while this card is equipped to a fusion monster you control, you can send this card and the equipped monster to the grave, and if you do, you get to special summon a Flame Swordsman or a fusion monster that mentions it from your extract, and it is treated as a fusion summon, which will get us out our boss monster, which is great. So what we're going to do now is use that effect to send our copy of Flame Swordsman and our copy of Salamandra Fusion from our field to the grave to summon out our new boss monster, Ultimate Flame Swordsman, which is amazing how easy it is with just a copy of Fighting Flame Swordsman it is to summon out this card. Now at this point, what we're going to do is we're actually going to use the effect of our Salamandra, the Flying Flame Dragon, in our graveyard to equip it to our copy of Ultimate Flame Swordsman, which is awesome to be able to do. And the cool thing about our copy of Ultimate Flame Swordsman is it has a crazy powerful effect that you can actually target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it, and if you do, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent, and it's a quick effect if it's equipped with an equip card, which it is since we have the copy of Salamandra equipped to it, which is amazing that we can pop a card during our turn and during our opponent's turn because it's a quick effect when it does have that equip card to it. And also this card gets absolutely massive because it has the ability that if this card battles, you can double its attack until the end of the turn, but destroy it during the end phase of this turn, which is not that big of a deal, because usually you're going to be OTKing your opponent when you do that, but with their copy of Salamandra equipped to it, it actually boosts it to 3500, so when it does swing, it'll swing in for 7000 attack points. So for this combo, guys, I'm going to show you what to do if you don't open up a copy of Fighting Flame Swordsman. And we actually are going to just open up a copy of Salamandra, the Flying Flame Dragon, plus Flame Sword Realm, making it super easy to pull off a copy of Ultimate Flame Swordsman. It's crazy how consistent this deck is to be able to summon out that boss monster. So what we're going to do is just normal summon out our copy of our Salamandra to our side of the field, and since it has 700 attack points, we can actually link this card away for a copy of Salamandra Alamirage because it does have less than 1,000 attack points. We can then use the ability of our Salamandra in the graveyard to be able to add from our deck to our hand a copy of Salamandra Fusion, which is great because now we have all the pieces that we need to be able to summon out Ultimate Flame Swordsman. So what we're going to do now is activate our copy of Flame Sword Realm that has the ability that you can send a monster from your hand or your field to the graveyard to be able to special summon out a copy of Flame Swordsman, which is awesome to be able to do. So we're going to send our copy of our Salamandra Alamirage to the graveyard and summon out a copy of our Flame Swordsman, which is awesome because now we have all the pieces again to summon out our boss, activate our copy of our Salamandra Fusion, and then once we do, we're going to send it to the graveyard with our copy of our Flame Swordsman to summon Ultimate Flame Swordsman, establishing basically the same field that we did in the first combo, which is amazing. I love Flame Sword Realm that it doesn't have to send a specific card to the graveyard. It just has to be any monster that you send to the graveyard to be able to summon out a Flame Swordsman from the extract to be able to go in for that awesome combo, and it's just super cool to be able to do that. I love that about this card. So now we're going to do the same thing that we did in the first combo and equip our copy of our Salamandra, the Flying Flame Dragon, to our Ultimate Flame Swordsman, boosting it to 3,500 attack points, giving it that quick effect pop during our turn and during our opponent's turn, and it can boost itself to 7,000 attack points, and basically establishing the exact same field that we established before, which is crazy how consistent it is, because you basically play these cards at 3 in the deck, which is awesome. And if you guys have not checked out the deck profile, as always, it is down in the description down below, but it's super consistent to be able to summon out this boss monster. So for this one, guys, I'm going to show you a pretty much guarantee OTK with just 2 cards: Fighting Flame Sword and Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. And it's crazy how easy it is to actually summon out Immortal Phoenix Gearfried in this deck. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to activate our copy of Fighting Flame Sword, which is going to let us add from our deck to our hand Fighting Flame Swordsman, which is awesome because both of these cards are actually 1-card combos for the deck, which is so cool because this card is basically a Rhoda for Flame Swordsman with a couple of bonus effects, but the main effect we usually use in the deck is to be able to use this card as a Rhoda. But it's so cool that it's so easy to establish this with these cards because you play them both at 3. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to send this card to the graveyard, and now we're going to normal summon out our copy of our Fighting Flame Sword, which is awesome to be able to just get this card out on our side of the field. And we're going to add from our deck to our hand our copy of our Flame Sword Realm. Now once we've got this card, we're going to activate it to be able to send our copy of our Fighting Flame Swordsman from our field to the graveyard to summon out the original Flame Swordsman, which is so cool that your copy of Flame Sword Realm just instantly gives you that card by sending your copy of Fighting Flame Swordsman from your side of the field, which is so cool for this combo. So now we're going to use the ability of our Fighting Flame Swordsman once it touches the graveyard to be able to send a copy of our Salamandra, the Flying Flame Dragon, from our deck to the graveyard because it did touch the graveyard. And now we're going to use Salamandra's ability to be able to grab Salamandra Fusion, which is great to be able to grab that card to our hand because once we've got this card in our hand, we now pretty much have established our copy of Ultimate Flame Swordsman. Because now we're going to activate our copy of our Salamandra Fusion to be able to equip to our Flame Swordsman. We're going to use its effect to be able to send it to the graveyard to be able to summon out our copy of Ultimate Flame Swordsman, which is insane. Now we can use the effect of our copy of Salamandra in the graveyard to be able to equip to our copy of our Ultimate Flame Swordsman, and we have the copy of Immortal Phoenix Gearfried to finish it off. Because this card has the ability to banish an equip spell from our field or our graveyard to be able to special summon this card from our hand. So what we can do is actually banish our copy of our Salamandra Fusion from our graveyard, because this card, once it does touch the graveyard, it really doesn't do anything anymore. So we can just banish this card from the grave to be able to summon out our copy of our Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, giving us 2 insanely powerful boss monsters on our side of the field for pretty much 1 card, which is absolutely crazy. This card also has a great ability at the start of the damage step. If this card attacks attacks, you can equip a face-up monster on the field to this card, maximum 1, and it also is a walking negate, which is so cool because this card actually will just swing and deal with a card on the field. This card is actually going to pop a card as well, so you're going to be able to get through basically a bunch of cards on your opponent's side of the field with this setup, which is so cool. Plus your copy of Ultimate Flame Swordsman can go up to 7,000 attack points with this combo, and you have the ability of your Flame Sword Realm that has the ability that once per turn, when a monster declares an attack, you can target a warrior monster that you control until the end of this turn. It loses exactly 1,000 attack, but all other monsters on the field that you currently control gain 1,000 attack points, so you can reduce the attack points of your Immortal Phoenix Gearfree down and boost your copy of Ultimate Flame Swordsman up to make it absolutely massive to go in for game, which is so cool about this combo. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you did learn something about the Flame Swordsman deck. This deck is awesome and super fun to be able to play because it's so easy to OTK your opponent with this deck and go into all those one card combos that this deck actually has to be able to just go in for game and establish the ultimate Flame Swordsman. If you guys would like, check out the deck profile. As always, it is down in the description down below, as for every combo and test hand video. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.